Good morning, everyone. My name is Corey, and I've been the university's photographer for the last 5 years. And during that time, I have photographed basically every facet of university life, and I've also had the privilege to photograph ancient Egyptian, Roman, and Greek artifacts. So how did I get here? Well, we'll have to go way back, and way back. When I was 6, actually for my 6th birthday, I got a bike and my ears pierced. But I also got 2 other gifts. I got, believe it or not, this camera. Don't think they still have film for this anymore. But I also got a yellow linen covered book that my great-great-granny gave me called The Greatest Wonders of the World. And as a 6-year-old, we didn't have internet. And when I opened that book for the first time and I saw the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Amazon River, Machu Picchu, God, the list goes on, illustrations of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the pink and white terraces of Rotorua, I was hooked. And I knew that with my camera and this fascination with everything that has come before me, that I was going to just run with it. So I grew up in Australia, and luckily enough, in the region that I grew up in is a archaeological vast region for the Gundandara peoples. And my backyard was filled with rock carvings and caves with cave paintings, and it was just rich. And we would often go, and my cousin Darren and I, how do I make this work? So that's such an old photo. Oh, groovy. My cousin Darren and I, we would quite often disappear into the bush for a day or 2 days, no big deal back then, and we would go discovering, young explorers, so to speak. This is the Dancing Rabbits, 15 minutes bike ride from my back door. And so this is the wealth that I was privileged enough to grow up in, and it really left an impression for me. But I was also the type of student that would take sabbatical from school for a day and convince their friends to come with, and we would go and spend the whole day in Sydney moving around the art galleries and the museums, and time would just disappear. So that was my early journeys, and it wasn't until I was nearly completed my photography learnings, so to speak, and that I started working for a hard-hitting current affairs journalism magazine called Investigate. Now, this was during the time September 11th hit, and the world just went, oh my God. I got given my first photojournalism assignment, and that was to travel to Egypt. And this started a trend for me where every time I travel overseas, it's always on a photography assignment. So I'm very privileged that way. But I travelled to Egypt for my first assignment. This was me, 2 o'clock this morning, taking photos of the magazine. Oh, there we go. And so I travelled there for 2.5 months, meeting the people, listening to their story, whether they lived in the city or they lived along the Nile, living a lifestyle along the Nile that is very reminiscent of hundreds of years before my time, and loving it. So, yeah, so this is just going through that. Oh, one of the things that I was just struck with when it comes to the hieroglyphics that you find on the sides of like the pyramids or in Luxor is how deep into the wall they go. You can put your arm into these crevices and it will go up to your shoulder blade. that's how much they thought about the longevity of what they were creating at the time, thousands of years ago, so that information would last, so that we could see it today. Wow. I've travelled to Vanuatu, where I've documented the different sort of culture there, where you have a tribal aspect of culture, but you also have a deeply religious based culture as well. My journeys have taken me through Europe and also to another bucket list moment, which is Pompeii. Pompeii is a fascinating place. I don't know if anyone has been there. I recommend that you do. The paintings on the sides of the walls are rich in pigment and intact. They're frescoes and amazing, just amazing, along with the remains from the catastrophic eruption that was Vesuvius. The streets are wide, they're well thought out, there's city planning there, there's drainage systems, you know. It's really quite remarkable to think how these people lived, the lifestyles that they had. And I guess for me, that's what inspires me. I am also a storyteller. I'm a visual person, and the human element historically inspires me to record what I do, and also to listen to the people that I photograph. Through to China. China, wow, another list moment, and then the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, and into another archaeological site, which is for the terracotta warriors. No two warriors are the same. Their facial expressions are all different. Their statures are all different. These look like at any moment they are going to wake up and continue their journey. It's freaky. But it's also beautiful, you know. Such history. The thought that went into it, I find it just so... I geek out, you know. I just love it. All right. So throughout all of this time, I've run my own photography business, and you know, weddings, events. I've been since the early 2000s curating a book of my own, documenting the rave culture of New Zealand. We're probably into our second generation of it now, and it's so that's been an ongoing passion project. I don't know when I'll be done. Maybe when you know, I'm going to raves in with a Zimmer frame. Maybe that might be the moment to release the book. But until then, we'll keep doing it. But in 2018, I moved down from Auckland to Christchurch, and I got presented with the opportunity to work for the university. Damn straight I took it. The university has afforded me such diversity that for me, I need diversity. I get bored very quickly, and with the university, I get to photograph many, many different things, from marketing campaigns to corporate bios to events to research, and also I get to photograph for the Test Museum. I tell you, I was not expecting that I would photograph for the Test Museum when I came on to the university. So when I got that call from Terry the first time, I was just like, are you kidding me? I feel like my whole life has led me to this point where I can come in and I can photograph this environment and record it in a way that, I don't know, just in a way that I appreciate it, and it is a privilege. But we record things also for Children's University so that young people can learn about what life was like in Rome versus what it was like in colonial 1800s. Right through to photographing illustrations also for the Children's University. Photographing illustrations allow you to get a high resolution of the image that scanning just won't give you. Tricky is to make sure that the colours are right. to architectural work, interior and exterior. The Tees Museum is my happy place, and I will always put my hand up just to go there and immerse myself, sit, relax, and whittle away as many hours as I can. This year, the university is celebrating 150 years. This is a huge moment and has seen me photograph artefacts that are from the university that have been donated by alumni, our past alumni, great men and women that have left their footprints in our institution, just like Ramses has in the sands of time. And I've been photographing these for our books that are coming out, but also for the exhibition that is currently on at the it's at the Art Centre. But if you haven't been, I recommend that you do go. The story behind these artefacts are just wonderful. It really gives you a rich insight into the history of the university, and so I cover the media releases of that, the events of that, and the assets that we use for publication and for advertising. Woo. Okay, so if you are thinking about a if you're thinking about a career in photography, if you want to see the world, immerse yourself in culture, talk to people and understand their stories, where they've come from, to help you put one foot in front of the other to move into the future, then yeah, photography might just be for you. It's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of hours. Yes, lots of hours. 3 o'clock this morning, I was still working. That's not all the time, but it is a lot of the time. But it is rewarding, it's enriching, and especially at this time when we are going through our 150th year, it's a bit of a landmark and something that I'm extremely proud of. If I was to give you a bit of advice, I think I did write this bit down. I did. I would say know your why, okay? Know it. And don't say no when you can say yes, always. Okay? Cultivate your relationships, network, and put yourself into situations that will grow you, not only academically, but as a human. Life is too short not to take chances, and it's far, far too long for regret. Thank you.